Hello, my name is Josh Lappin with the Part-Time Drummer, and welcome to another Part-Time Drummer mini-series. In today's series and mini-course, we will be covering the subject of triplets and how to apply triplets to the drum set. Well, let's get started here and see what we've got. First of all, for those of you who may not know, a triplet is a stroke used on the drum set that consists of 3 strokes, as the name kind of indicates. So triplets, 3. Alright, so let's first of all start by demonstrating how to play a triplet. There's more than one way to do it, but I'm going to show you 2 or 3 ways here. First, the easiest way that I like to do it is I just like to do 3 strokes on each hand. So for example, you could have right, 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 and left, 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 right, 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 left, left, left. And if we put that together in a smooth pattern, we would get something like this. Okay, nice little triplet roll there. Alright, so what I would recommend for you to do with that is to practice it from open to close, which means you start very slow, very deliberate, and then you gradually build up speed until everything is real fast and tight and precise, which would be the close part. And then you would back it down to a more slow roll in a gradual way. So let me just demonstrate here real quick one exercise you can do with this triplet. Alright, there you have the triplet, 3 strokes on each hand from open to close and back to open. Great exercise to be able to practice. That one was without the metronome, but I highly recommend that if you have a metronome, that you use the metronome to practice that triplet, especially if you want to build up speed with it. Okay, so that's one version of how to play the triplet. Another version that I like to use a lot as well is actually splitting the triplet between 2 hands. So for example, you could go right, left, left, or left, right, right. And when I practice it, I'll practice usually one variation from open to close, just like I did with the other one. So for example, I would go right, left, left, right, left, left, from open to close. So let's hear that real quick and see how that sounds. triple stroke variation there. Right, left, left. Of course, don't forget your left, right, right to practice that as well. And like I said again, try practicing it from open to close, and also try practicing it with a metronome. Alright, so that's two variations on how to play a triplet. The third one is to actually play it with a single stroke sticking pattern, and it's very easy. You just go right, left, right, or 1, 2, 3. That's a triplet. So of course you can also go left, right, left. And you can see from how I was playing it, there's different ways to come up with different patterns, so I encourage you to explore different patterns and be creative with that. Okay, so that was just a basic intro of how triplets work and how triplets are played, and a couple of really basic exercises on the snare drum for just getting started with triplets. But what I really wanted to talk about today, and the point of this lesson, is applying triplets around the drum set. So what we want to do is we want to take what we just did and figure out how to move it around the drum kit, because that's where it's really going to be fun. Also too, before we get too far along, I did want to mention too that there are other techniques used in playing triplets well and effectively, which include techniques such as the Moeller technique. Just a really quick overview. The Moeller technique is a technique that uses a combination of a wrist snap and a bounce, the natural bounce off the drum, to produce a more fluid and quick triplet pattern. There are other resources related to the Moeller and how that works and how that is shown, but that's beyond the scope of our video. We do have resources available on our website, parttimedrummer.com, specifically in our Snare Drum Mastery 101 series, if you want to explore the topic of the Moeller technique in more detail. But getting back to our triplets around the drum set. So remember our first pattern, right, 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 left, left, left. Alright, so we want to get that off the snare drum, we want to get that around the kit. So this is a fairly simple way to do it. Basically all you have to do is take your right and just move it around the drum set. So on a 5-piece kit it would be right, left, right, or right, left, right. So you could do some kind of exercise like this. Okay, so that was kind of in 4/4. What I did was 1 measure, 2 measure, 3 measure. Sorry, I did 1 measure. That was 2. I did, sorry, 2 on the snare, 1 measure, and then the 4th measure. So that's 4. So 1, 3. All right, I think you get the point. The point is to move that triplet around the drum set. Also, I'm going to keep saying this over and over, but I really would like for you to use a metronome. So I'm going to turn the metronome on now this time when I do the exercise so you can see how it sounds. And I'm really just going, you can set these things to be triplets. I'm keeping it in 4/4, and I'm just using the click of the metronome as a guide to stay in tempo. All right, that was at 66 beats per minute, 4/4 time. And again, measure 1, measure 2, measure 3, measure 4. And what you would want to do with that is you would want to continue to build up your speed with a metronome. So that was 66. Let's boost it up a little bit. 76. Okay. 86. And so on and so forth. So you would continue to increase your speed until you reach a point where you're no longer able to play it accurately and efficiently, and then you would move it back down, and you just gradually continue to crank that metronome up until you reach a speed that you're satisfied with. So that's just one variation of exercise. There's infinite ways that you can apply this on the drum kit. So we'll just do a little freestyle here. Again, that was triplets, 3 strokes per hand, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so like I said, there's a lot of different patterns that you can do with that. All right, and moving on, the next pattern we're going to explore is the one we explored in the snare drum earlier, and that is splitting the triplets between 2 hands. So right, left, left, right, left, left, or left, right, right, left, right, right. So let's explore that one around the kit. So right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left. All right, so obviously there's many ways to do that. So let me crank on the metronome so you can see what it sounds like with that. Again, the sky's the limit to your creativity and the amount of different combinations and things that you can do with the triplet. So that was splitting the triplet between the 2 hands, right, left, left. Of course, don't forget the left, right, right. Right? And then, of course, there is the right, left, right, or the left, right, left. Okay? combinations there. You can even mix them all up together too. Come up with some really complicated and unique patterns there with triplets. All right, the next topic I wanted to explore regarding the triplets is actually moving the triplets around using both the top of the kit, which is, you know, snare, tom, cymbals, and the bottom of the kit, the bass drum. So what we want to do is we want to split the triplets into two sections or two different patterns. My favorite is one of my favorites is two on top, so right, right, left, right, right, left. So that's my first favorite pattern. And like I said, there's a lot of different ways to do that. You can do it with right, right, left, or left, left, right. Or you could even do it single with right, left, right. Right, left, bass drum. Sorry. So snare, snare, bass drum, snare, snare, bass drum. Or right, right, bass drum, left, left, bass drum. Or right, left, bass drum, left, right, bass drum. Okay? So if we turn the metronome on and just do a little freestyle, let's start off with, well, I'm going to mix it all up. So combination of right, right, left, 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 right, and right, left, bass drum, and left, left, bass drum. Okay? Alright, so like I said, that was a combination of a whole lot of different things put together. But the whole premise was two on top, one on the bottom. Of course, I also want to talk about reversing that as well. We want to do a one on top and a two on bottom. So either left, bass drum, or right, bass drum, or you can even do a flam, bass drum. Flam would be, at its most simple definition, would be two sticks going at the same time with the drum. So now there was some nuance and variation to that, but like I said, if you want more information on all the proper application of rudiments to the snare drum, check out our Snare Drum Mastery 101 series. So let's turn on our metronome and explore that a little bit. So one on top, two on the bottom. Alright, just like I've said previously, with all of these exercises, use the metronome and practice it from slow to fast and back down again. So that was just a couple of ideas on how to apply triplets to the drum set. We explained the basics of how the triplet was constructed and how to play it on the snare drum, and then we moved it around the drum set with various combinations. I would encourage everyone to continue to explore different ways to play that, and the triplet can be a very valuable and exciting part of your drum set skills and tools. So again, my name is Josh with the Part-Time Drummer, and I hope to see you soon in an upcoming series.